Hey, Vlogsters. It's very bright out, so it's a gorgeous day out today. I'm parked. I'm taking Jim again around town to different places to fill out job applications. Jim drives. Jim can drive any place that he's been to once before. He does get more frazzled with finding places that he's never been to before and driving carefully. I know that sounds silly, and I know that's actually, it doesn't sound silly. I know a lot of people have that problem, but for some people it does sound silly, but that secondhand driving thing that some of us have, he doesn't have. Like, he'll just know that driving his car safety, he has to concentrate on that, and then trying to look for the directions or whatever is a different thing. So anyway, I just take him around easy. I'm here for support. I love to give him a little encouragement before he goes in, just to boost his confidence, or whatever I can, actually. But it's gorgeous out. It is currently 80 degrees. It's spring. It's spring here in Rolla. And I thought I would just bring you along today, and we can chat about just about how it's been going. We will chat with Jim too. I thought me and Jim can jump on here a little bit just to let you guys know how it's going with him not finding work yet. He has not really prioritized it like he has in the past, which is unusual. He is treating this bout of unemployment like he did when I was working full-time in New York. If he had lost a job when he was working in New York or had quit a job, he would take some time off. Unfortunately, we don't really have that kind of a luxury right now. But that's the way he's kind of looking at it a little bit. I think he vlogged about it this morning, so you guys check out his channel and see more from him. But here he comes. Let's see how it went. How'd it go?
Well, gentleman's name is Mike Thompson. He is looking for sales representatives.
Oh, okay.
He wants me to send a resume to his email address here, and then give him a day or two and then call him back. And basically he wants somebody who's has sales experience and can be an aggressive salesperson.
Okay, so Jim won't be working at the radio station.
I don't know.
Do you think you have aggressive sales? I think you're more of
well,
yeah, he'll think about it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll check with you guys in a little bit. So we are at the new shopping center that has PetSmart, TJ Maxx, Ross, and Academy Sports. Jim has filled out online applications to PetSmart and Academy Sports. I had to explain to him then about TJ Maxx and Ross, that they are really just stock and cashiers, because there are no departments. Like, nobody's mastered a department. There's no salesman, basically. That's what I tried to say to him about Kohl's. He was like, I don't know if I could apply for Kohl's. I don't really know anything about clothes. And I was like, well, first of all, Kohl's sells more than clothes. And second of all, they don't really have salesmen. What they do is they have stock people, and stock people who know their departments. And he knows that because when he worked at Target, he was in charge of not in charge, but he worked at sporting goods. So he knows what I mean by that. But I was like, they have housewares, they have bedding, they even have like a little luggage sports area, like, shoes. They don't just have clothes. So anyhow, I suggested those places because he has retail experience, and he, what I think I'm getting the sense of is that he wants to work someplace that he wants to work. I know that we all want that, but I think that the reason he's not pushing his priorities of getting a job is because he really wants to get something that he loves. But I was trying to say to him in the conversation that we're hoping that this is just temporary. I've never said that before, but obviously he wants it to be more permanent. He wants to go someplace that he loves. But anyway, so today he's already filled out applications online for PetSmart and Academy Sports, and he wants to run in and meet the managers and say, follow up on an application. Just say, have you got my application? Do you have any positions, part-time, full-time, whatever? I think I mentioned to you guys before that really he only needs to have a part-time job because of the fact that I also have revenue coming in from the channel. We like did a budget of this is how much you need to make. So if the job is paying this much, you need to work this many hours, like that. We've done that. And we sat down with our budget and we economized and we did basically the things that we need to do. And here he comes again. So we know exactly what he needs to have and not needs to, how much he needs to be working and stuff. So we're over to Academy. How'd it go?
Well, they want me to come in tomorrow, 11 a.m. for an interview.
Okay. Yay. She's not coming with me to St. Louis.
Fortunately, no, I'm sorry.
He is. We're not going till later anyway. Sorry. We were going to go to Aunt Sue's tomorrow to help her put together a chair. And bring her Easter basket because she couldn't come for Easter. It was sort of a last minute thing, but she's okay. I just want to let everybody know. I'm also going to bring her some food because I cooked like she was coming over. Anyhow, so he so this shopping center has these 4 stores. I don't think you could see them, but I think I had a TJ Maxx haul with me and Jim, and actually Academy of Sports, we did a thing. I think I've shot videos here before, but that's what I'm saying. Anyhow, if you drove straight across, if the street extended straight across, that would be the roof of Menards. I have not been in Menards yet. I'm not going to go into Menards with him. I kind of feel like I don't want to go into Menards until I have a little bit of cash flow. We've been wanting to redo our pantry. I've been collecting baskets. The plans are in my head. Excuse me. It's not just the pantry, but it's the pantry and the mudroom and all that stuff. And the only reason I'm putting it off is because we haven't had the extra money. It's going to be a few $100s. I've collected the baskets and stuff, but just the shelving and stuff, because there's a lot of things I want to do there in the shelving are going to be like a couple $100s, which right now I don't have extra couple $100. I have extra $50 or $40 here and there, but I don't have like an extra couple $100. So that is going to keep on hold. I would have had extra couple $100 in May. Like my budget looked like it was going to be a May project, but then Jim lost his job and things changed financially for us. So I thank you for listening. No, I'm just kidding. So I really want to go to Menards. I hear such wonderful things about them. I look at their advertisements and I'm always like, oh, I want to go there. They have such good prices and good bargains and all the things. So, and it's supposed to be beautiful inside. Like they just sell everything and the way it's displayed and stuff. So anyhow, my mouth is like Home Depot was one of my favorite stores when we lived in New York. Home Depot's here in St. Louis. It's just not here by me and Rolla. The closest one is in Jeff City. Geographically closer is in Jeff City. And then they're in St. Louis. And I loved Home Depot. My father was like, why are you always looking at that circular? They only sell work. And that's true. Home Depot does only sell work. So does Menards. He's so cute. I miss him. Anyway, Academy Sports is not just a sporting goods store. Like Jim doesn't really play sports. He played soccer when he was in high school, but excuse me. Like right now out here is all their playground equipment, for your backyard, and the canoes and the plastic pools and stuff for the kiddos. So that was excuse me. So he was thinking more like the camping equipment stuff. It was something he used to do a lot when he was younger, and something he wants to do. I want to do again. You know, when we first met, he promised me he was going to take me camping, and then he's like, "Well, there's no campgrounds in New York." I was like, first of all, yes, a freaking million of them. Second of all, there's even some on Long Island. So I'm like, you know, but he just got into his head that, you know, like a lot of people do in the United States, if you're from New York, that means you're from that little tiny island called Manhattan. Here he comes. Let's see how it goes. But, of course, that's not the case. New York is a giant state.
Okay. Operational manager was not there, but they're going to put a note on her desk.
Okay.
So,
To give you a call?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Next door. This store is huge. I'm dying to go in there. The garden stuff. See, okay, so we bought the house. All right. Rolla has got a different zone. If you're a gardener, let's start over. Hi. If you're a gardener, you know what zone you live in because that's what kind of plants you have to buy. Well, Rolla is a different zone than Long Island was, obviously. They have different dirt. They have different seasons. They have different problems, all the things. So the only thing that I know for sure is that my mom's iris is transplanted. I brought some from my home in New York. I planted them in at my home in Rolla. The rest of my seasonal planting we used to do, I tried to do here the first year we moved here, and like everything died. They sell impatient, so it's not like whatever, but I know that I didn't know how I had to treat them differently. They have like different food that they need and different conditions. Like, so I'll tell you exactly. Okay. In New York, the front of my house faced east directly and got only the afternoon and evening light, so it didn't get any morning light. And hanging over my front porch, I had 4 hanging pots of impatiens. I will try to find pictures and insert them because I do have pictures of my yard. Plus, I had 2 giant flower pots in the front on both sides of the outside of the porch. It was like a deck, and then on the front of the deck, I had 2 giant, big giant flower pots or whatever. But I would fill those with impatiens and begonias, and then I had rail pots, which I just loved my garden. Now I miss it. And then on the right at the fence line, I had like sort of a chain link fence, and right at the fence line, that's where I put my bulb garden. So I had gotten, anytime I'd got an Easter plant, I would plant the bulb. And my sister had tiger lilies, and she gave me some. And then I had my mom's irises. And I think that's all of the bulbs. Like, obviously, I had I had daffodils, hyacinths, tulips, tiger lilies, and irises. No, I said irises already. Hold on. I had daffodils came up first, then the hyacinths and the tulips, and the tiger lilies and the irises. Right. Okay. I didn't say irises twice. But what I did was I basically spread them out. So it was almost like daffodil, hyacinth, tulip, tiger lily, iris. And then what would happen was there would be flowers always along the fence line blooming at a different period. So that's how I would do that. Anyhow, every year around now, we would get our hanging pots ready and get our new soil and go and get our impatiens. We're always on sale. And then we would plant them. My dad was really kind of fond of the red, white, and pink combination. Sometimes coral would be added in there. And he loved the pink begonias that they had, not the waxy begonias. Yes. That they had sold from Home Depot that we put along the fence line. He really liked those because the pink waxy begonias also had like a little tinge of red on the leaves. So even like if we were in a bad windstorm and it blew the petals off, there was still a little color in the leaves. That's why he did that. But I tried that when I moved here. That's what this whole story was. My home here, the living room, I think you guys have seen my sliding glass doors in lots of videos. My sliding glass doors face east. The front of my home faces south. But there's a giant shade tree in the front of my home. So it's planting there. I have to be like where I'm going to put things. But the same direction, facing east, is in front of my Arcadia doors. And hanging, I tried the hanging pots of impatience there when I first moved here. And there's a couple of things. I think that in New York it's a little bit more humid, so watering is a little bit different. We did water, but we also got a little bit more rain during the season, so it was sort of, and it was also like it was more convenient because I walked in and out of my front door. So like if I was on my way to work, I would take an extra 2 minutes and scoop up the water and water all the plants. My dad used to have a giant bucket he used for fishing that we used to collect rainwater with, and then like the little IKEA watering pitcher, would just dip it in there and then you'd be able to water all the plants. But when we lived in Rolla, the Arcadia doors, even though I look at them every day, I don't go in and out of them. Plus I wasn't working, so I wasn't leaving the house anyway. Even if I was leaving the house, like I would probably walk around them. It's not very far to go from the door we leave to the Arcadia doors, but just things are different, like climate and whatever. And I don't really know that much about gardening here. So I said the next spring I would go to the garden center. This was before Menards opened. This was in 2014. And I would go to the garden center and I would speak to a gardener who is basically from here his whole life or whatever. And they closed it. Just sometimes they closed it in January, and it's just sometimes you think like, what are you trying to tell me, universe? Now Sally does have a flower, like she's allergic to scented flowers or some flowers, and she has undiagnosed adult rhinitis. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So some flowers that have fragrance are no good, but I was telling her, I was like, impatiens don't have fragrance, and neither do the begonias. I mean, if they do, you have to really put your nose up to them. Oh, that man just walked all the way over there. Hold on, turn you around. See how far away that entrance is? That exit is? Look how far away that exit is. It's right there. And he is just walked all the way from there because I was too busy talking to you guys and I didn't even notice. So how'd it go?
Well, she's going through a lot of applications.
Okay.
They must have a ton of them.
Okay.
She said up to 90 days.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
I wasn't rude or anything like that. I just kind of was like,
oh yeah,
semi-discouraged, but hey, you know what?
Well, discouraged about Menards.
They're new.
A lot of people want to work here.
It's a very large.
Very large.
It is very large. It's got, not only does it have your everyday building materials and whatnot, but it has pet food, regular food.
Yeah.
All kinds of, as seen on TV, gadgetry
And that's just what he saw walking from the customer service to the exit.
Customer service to the back of the store, then to the exit.
Okay. I just apologized to them too, but I should apologize to you. I'm sorry I didn't see you coming. I would have come out and picked you up. It's far, so yeah, it's hot. So I'm sorry.
It's not hot. It is getting warm. It's
hot. 80 degrees, 81, 84. What is it right now? 84. Yeah, it's hot.
It is hot. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next door. Okay, so that being said, I feel really bad about he was warm, so I felt really bad. So we had $5 on our Sonic app from a previous Sonic whatever. Let's put it this way. When Jim had a job, our spending habits were a little different. We weren't like very, very extravagant, but we weren't as tightly frugal as we are now. We were frugal. That's it. We were frugal. We weren't cheap and poor. Anyway, I had $5 on my Sonic app, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder what we can get." And if you order from your Sonic app, it's happy hour anytime, which basically drinks are always half price if you order from the app. So we pull into a stall, I open my phone, and I order from the app. I do that almost every time now, so we can get half price drinks. So he wanted a drink. He got himself a Barks root beer. Barks, I'm 99.9% sure, actually has caffeine in it. It's the mug that I think is caffeine free. He needed the caffeine, he said. But I got him a drink because he was hot and walking from Menards or whatever. And then I hadn't had breakfast yet, which is bad. Don't yell at me. So I just picked up a junior bacon burrito with tomatoes and Baja sauce, which I never had it with Baja sauce before. I just saw that it was an option on the app, and I was like, oh yeah. That's another good thing about the app. Ordering from the app, you can see the things that are choices that you don't even know are choices. If you didn't have a burrito with Baja sauce on it, you didn't know that there was such a thing as Baja sauce. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyhow, I digress. It's the sweetest thing. This little old lady and her granddaughter. I assume it's her granddaughter. But they're walking from Hobby Lobby, and she's carrying stuff. She's so cute. Anyhow, so we stopped for breakfast. I got Jim a burrito. I got me a burrito and a drink for him for $4.31, which was perfect. And we had a little bit of breakfast. I brought my coffee, like I knew I was going to need coffee. But what happens is, and I know with my diabetes, I need to eat breakfast. I need to eat regularly. But what it is with my 48-year-old digestive system, if I take my medicine, and I take cinnamon in the morning, if I take my cinnamon and drink my coffee and don't eat anything, I will have like indigestion all day. And in fact, the reason I didn't get sausage burritos was because if I eat sausage and coffee and medicine, and like way too long to have my medicine, the first thing I eat is sausage, I will have indigestion. I know it sounds weird. I can have my medicine and my breakfast with sausage and my coffee right away, and that's fine. But I think it's the spacing out of them, of that sort of like what kicks up a little stomach acid maybe. It's just these weird combinations. If you have acid reflux or GERD or just get heartburn, women of a certain age or people of a certain age, you kind of learn the things. I'm sorry, the radio's on. You kind of learn the certain things that you can and cannot do. Like when I worked at AHRC, one of the girls was diagnosed with GERD, and when we went to go see the doctor for the first time, she got the pamphlet, and she was a very capable young lady, and she read all of the things that they told her to avoid, and she got very upset because there was a lot of food that she loved on there that she had to now get rid of. And I was like, well, let's go back on our next appointment and we'll ask him about getting rid of them or limiting them. And that was one of the things that he talked about. He's like, limiting them, sometimes bad combinations, like you can have a little bit of chocolate, you can have a little bit of orange juice, but don't really try to have orange juice and chocolate or anything in excessive amounts. So here is Jim from Hobby Lobby. Let's see how he did. How'd it go?
Well, I spoke to the co-manager. He very polite to let me know that they are in a hiring lull. They haven't really hired anybody since
they opened
and they had their first fair. But it says, check back every so often. You never know.
Okay. So good to know. And not that I was afraid of that, but I kind of had a feeling because they were still new.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to the people a tiny bit, and then I'll go drive up to Big Lots? Do you want to go to Harbor Freight too?
Sure, why not? I can pick up an application there.
Okay.
Whoa, covered up the phone. Sorry. With Michael's, I can understand what their Michael's situation.
Hobby Lobby.
A Hobby Lobby. Michael's, Hobby Lobby, they're the same thing to me.
No. Don't tell the people
well,
that. They'll get very upset. Ooh.
I don't know the difference.
You're okay. I know you get that little girl, so go ahead.
I kind of figured that Hobby Lobby might have their situation when they're in a lull, because Rolla, being a small town as it is, can be finicky about certain things. That factor with the college kids here, once you get most of your people in, unless they've done something really, really wrong, most places around here try to keep their employees, because it's a small town. It's hard to find actual people who want to work and are good workers. But being that it's almost towards the end of the school season, they might have opening up pretty soon, because a lot of the college kids will be going back home, unless they've either got permanent residence or good jobs that they don't want to lose, and they don't want to go back to wherever they're from. So we'll see what happens with them. But right now, with the factor that I've got a interview tomorrow at PetSmart, it might not be a problem for much longer. But anyhow, I'm going to go pick up a application in Harbor Freight.
All that. That's why I get to just talk to the people for a second while I drive up to the thing. One other thing is that here in Rolla there are a lot of seniors, because it's such a less expensive place to live. I won't say inexpensive. It is inexpensive compared to where I grew up. It's very inexpensive to live here. But it's a less expensive place to live with amenities. Obviously, if we drove out to, 20 minutes, not even 20, if you drove like 10 minutes north of Rolla into like the little town of Vichy, it's much cheaper to live there, but there's no amenities. There's one restaurant kind of thing. Anyway, because of the amount of amenities, the fact that there's a hospital here, there are a few senior communities, quite a few senior communities actually. They're building more and more, because the people who have actually lived here their whole lives are starting to become of an age. They're empty nesters and they want to retire, but they don't want to move anywhere. So there was a few senior developments already, or senior care centers, and now that there are even more communities growing. So that population are retired and they don't have jobs. So there are more people who live here than actually work here. There is also Phelps County seat is in Rolla, and there is the Phelps County. There's sort of I don't say Section 8 housing, but there's sort of yeah, I might be right. Section 8 housing. Is that right? There is for people who are on Social Security disability, we have quite a large number of them as well. And again, they don't work. So they're sorry, there's a police officer. I just want to make sure he's not, because I'm standing in the fire zone, but I'm not parking. No, he's parked back there. Okay. I just want to make sure if I need to move, that's all. Sorry, guys. So there's a lot of population that don't work here, is what I was trying to say. So there's many more people that live in Rolla than work in Rolla. Now, the college is a big thing because they have seasonal workers, and then they'll go home for the summer. And what Jim was saying is some stay all year. We do have, because it's a science and technology college, there are quite a few people of nationalities, different nationalities. I'm sorry, Jimmy just came out. There are quite a few people of different nationalities that actually live here full year because they don't have the means to travel home. It's just cheaper. Plus, with the rent, the college apartments that you can rent while you're in college, it's sometimes cheaper to do a 4-year lease or 2-year lease than it is to do just the seasonal lease and go home for the summer. So, did you get an application?
They don't have any applications on paper. They said to go to their website.
Okay. Online. So let's go over to Big Lots.
Yep. And it's funny, this storefront right here
Yeah.
is empty.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing.
Well, I heard something about they were gonna do like a kind of like the UPS store, like a mailboxes, etc.
Yeah.
or something. I don't know if that's gonna still be true or.
I don't
You're
know.
okay. I just wanna.
It doesn't look like they've been doing much work in there. It looks kind of like nobody's there.
Okay.
So either whatever the job was going to be.
What does this little sign say? I'm sorry.
12-month special financing.
Okay. On credit cards. Okay. Oh, I didn't know Big Lots had a credit card.
Neither did I.
Because they have nice furniture. I'm always looking for a couch. And no, I'm not going to go into Big Lots. Just like I didn't go into Hobby Lobby. Just like I didn't go into TJ Maxx and Ross. Yes, you can shop without buying. She has a pom-pom keychain and her keys are in her back pocket. I thought she had a bunny tail on. Yeah, you can shop without buying. It's just very difficult for me. No, I'm just kidding. I just, because I know that stores like Big Lots, not Hobby Lobby so much. I know stores like Big Lots and Dollar Tree, they don't always restock some of their seasonal items. You sort of like have to grab them up while you get them. I'm saving my Dollar Tree gift card that I was just gifted. I don't know if you've seen that blog yet or if I posted that blog yet. But I was gifted a $25 gift card from Tammy Varley. Thank you, Tammy. But since we're driving to St. Louis tomorrow to put a share together for Aunt Sue, I asked Jim if we can go to one of the Dollar Trees out there because they do have very different things. So I'm going to use that tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I'm excited. And then I was just putting together some DIY stuff before we left the house. But it's that day of we have to clean up Easter.
They are hiring, but you need to go to their online application location.
Perfect. Okay.
And then give them 24 hours and call back.
Perfect. Okay. So then
So,
let's wrap this up. Let's wrap because that's where we're into now.
home, I guess, because I mean, I don't know where else to go. That is probably going. They're either going to tell me to go online or
GameStop. It was GameStop or we could just head this way. Did you go to Casey's?
No, I have not gone to Casey's.
Just break time. You didn't go to Phillips 66 either.
I haven't.
Okay.
No, because when I was going to, the computer started going.
Okay.
Or the
All
internet, the internet and the computer didn't want to communicate, so they're arguing about who's going to talk and who's not going.
All right. So thank you everybody for joining us. I'm sorry if this was a really long vlog, but we really enjoyed bringing it to you. So as always,
Have a good one.
take care. God bless you next time. Bye.